Newmancam, Finding Scholarly Materials with Chris Newman. Newmancam, Part 3A, JSTOR.
Now another thing we can do, we thank the librarians for getting us JSTOR, which is a wonderful, wonderful search engine, is to use, they have other excellent databases. Those of you in my state and local class reviewing this, you want to make friends with LexisNexis, and particularly LexisNexis law reviews feature. But for general purposes, JSTOR, go to Advanced Search. So we move to Advanced Search because otherwise you may get stuck with a whole bunch of useless stuff like reviews of books are useful to find books, but you can't really cite them. Editorials you don't use in the least. I usually include links to external content, but that's just because I don't feel like burdening Armando anymore with requests for articles which are cited here but are not available. Sometimes I leave checked include only content I can access. There are a whole series of gradations based upon how much money you want to pay of how much JSTOR will give you. We, not being University of Chicago, do not have the resources that University of Chicago, a major research university with tens of millions of grants, has. So sometimes I say include only content I can access. If I'm feeling cranky, I click that off, and then I get citations that I then will throw into Armando. Let me try John Hunt Morgan here with the include only content I can access, and then limit it to try and keep the geneticists out by Confederate. So we've got first line of search, John Hunt Morgan in quotes, second line, and Confederate. I want to search the full text to make sure it comes up somewhere. It is better to be too inclusive and winnow out stuff which is not useful than to miss something that's important. So cast your net as widely as possible. I click on search. Hey, it came up real quick. That's good. Okay. And we've got a bunch of citations here, and you usually have to use your own knowledge which has accumulated from some exposure to this. Frequently what you need to do is go through research once, read your articles and books you get, then go back again and search again with the basis or the advantage of experience. So right now I would probably not be terribly interested in Turning Points in the U.S. Civil War, a British Perspective, which is in the Journal of Economic History, because my sense at this moment is it's not terribly useful in describing the tactics and strategy of detached Confederate cavalry regimes. However, we've got guerrilla warfare, democracy, and the fate of the Confederacy, and some aspects of cavalry operations in the Army of the Tennessee. Because first, I'm going to click on the some aspects of cavalry operations. So anyway, here we got an article which is useful about aspects of Confederate cavalry operations in Tennessee. And I print that out or download it, as the case may be. These days I'm usually downloading it to my flash drive. So JSTOR, journal storage, I would expect that they've talked a little bit about this in your orientation to the library. It is a collection of articles from scholarly journals. The typical way it's arranged is if a journal is covered by JSTOR, it's from first publication down to some point in time between 1 and 3 years within the last year, although I see a happy notice on my JSTOR search engine that as of January, I think it's going to be available to look at stuff right up to the present moment, which is neat, I guess. I would probably think it was less neat if I were in the magazine publishing business, but that's a story for another consideration.
To be continued with Part 3B, Other Library Databases.